We are very excited to be here to testify and share what God is doing in our lives. This is September to remember. Just tell your neighbor, September to remember. This is a memorable month where we mark the birth of our mother. She means so much to us. She has done a whole lot of things for us, and we are grateful. 1 month alone is not enough to celebrate her. We celebrate her every day, but this is the time set aside. So we must celebrate, rejoice, and thank God for the gift that He has given us of such a wonderful mother.
Indeed, Doctor, you are telling the truth. You know, her life is a life that we have to celebrate on a daily basis because of the continual work that our mother is continuing to do physically for people and spiritually for all of us. We see the impact of her life in the things that she does. It is always said that a man or a woman's character is marked by the works that he or she does. And indeed, our mother's work is a testament of who she is and what she continually does. She's a pure example of an exhibition of a family unit, and she's a pure example of a philanthropist, how a spiritual philanthropist is supposed to be like. She's actually a typical example of a mother to you and me. And we should celebrate a mother of that magnitude, a mother who sets her time to teach, to give, to empower, and also to expand the kingdom of God. Doctor, you know, if you allow me, I would like to just read one or two things of the things that our mother is doing.
Sure, go ahead, man of God.
You know, I was actually touched when I was talking to Pastor Nyadembera yesterday, and he was telling me that at each go, like for each season or each semester, she's sending over 1,000 students.
1,000.
1,000 students consistently.
Wow.
So, and he is saying these children are not just children that are being sent in this country, maybe at University of Zimbabwe, NAST, or other universities. She's going as far as Australia, China, United Kingdom, America. And if you are going to calculate the tuition in America, you'd know it's nothing less than $15,000 for each person.
Indeed, it's a lot of money.
You know, it touches me a lot, Doctor, because I even know that our mother just doesn't go beyond just the aspect of education. You yourself, you had gone through some outreach programs. You could tell us about.
Yes, our mother has sent us to different places in Zimbabwe, and she has given us the resources to go and help out in the community. We have operated many people who were blind, who have received their sight through the hands of our mother. We've seen patients who had very complex conditions, and they were sent for surgery. Yes, for surgery. Somebody might say, why surgery? They were sent for surgery, and everything went on well through the hands of our mother. We've had, I can tell you, we were in Mzarabani, we were in Murambinda, we were in Nyanga, we were in Mausekwa. So, you know, we've been in different places offering medical services through the hands of our mother. So you can see how much she's doing to the community. Not just that, people have been given water. You know, water is one of the very vital resource in life. You can't do without water.
True.
Boreholes have been sunk in many provinces of Zimbabwe through the hands of our mother. What else can you ask for if you have such a mother who can do all those things?
You know, that's where you talk about our mother being a super mom, because she's able to be that superhero in our lives, that she can come around and rescue us from the deepest thoughts of life. You know, I was actually being told as well that prison ministry, our mother actually provides sanitary wear, and even yourselves,
Indeed,
you've gone for medical checkups.
Yes,
there.
we've gone there, yes. And the prisoners have got some utensils to use, so many things that have been done to the prisoners in various prisons.
You know, when I was actually just looking through September to remember, I discovered a lot of things about herself and even the arm that she has, which is Agape Family Care. You know, I was told of stories that most of us have not seen. And I've actually seen that there is something deep about our parents. You know, they've always been people that have always had us in mind. You know, she has gone to help even people that are not even from United Family International Ministries.
Exactly. Even among these children that are going to school, many of them don't belong to UFIC ministries. So you can see her arms have spread far and wide to assist the community. And, you know, if you look at it, it's not just physical, it's spiritual. We've testified of miracles that she has performed 2 weeks ago, where the child was resurrected from the dead, and the child is growing very well. You all saw her 2 weeks ago. We have testified of so many ladies who were barren, and through the hands of our mother, they were made to conceive. So you can see that she is an all-rounder, multi-dimensional mother who is giving assistance to us physically, spiritually, psychologically, socially, mentally, everything. She's empowering us. And men of God, today we've got another testimony of somebody who was empowered by our mother. You know, the theme for the ladies' conference is against all odds. You know, there comes times in lives where you have hit the wall, and all odds are now heavily stacked against you. You don't know what to do. Your future is like, it's now blocked. You don't see anything beyond today. But our mother comes in, and against all odds, she helps and makes sure that this individual has a future, not just for himself, but for many people that he has already started to impact, and that he will impact in future.
And you know, before you even bring out what you want to bring us today, you know, I had the privilege of also calling one of the beneficiaries of our Agape Family Care, and the gentleman is in Australia.
Wow.
The guy is now an engineer in Australia.
Wow.
He's a father, he's in Australia. He now has got a child in Australia.
Wow.
And I was actually, you know, what touches me is, it looks at the peripheries as if it's just one person that is being affected. But you actually notice that as that person goes out, he or she is not just going to be a help to himself, but to the world, to the community, and also to his own family, which could not help him. But because he or she has been empowered, they become a testimony even to their families.
Indeed, men of God. So people of God, help us to welcome. We've got a newly minted medical doctor who came through the hands of our mother. When you hear his story, you'll be amazed. It's a story of something against all odds, something which was very, very difficult to do. But through the hands of our father and mother, something has happened. Let's welcome Dr. A.T. Chisema. Dr. Albert, can you come forward? Dr. Chisema, welcome. How does it feel to be called Dr. Chisema?
You know, it feels very great, and it's such a privilege, considering the history. It's like a dream come true, and I'm really happy to be in this house. You know, it gives me a lot of faith, a lot of hope to be in this house, that if the prophet, Mama and Papa, can lead such a united great family and build such a beautiful church from the scratch, then our lives can also be transformed from humble backgrounds to greatness.
Wow. So, Dr. Gisema, how many months now with this doctor, with this title, doctor?
About 4 months now.
4 months now.
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We understand your journey has not been easy.
Yes,
It's been a very difficult journey.
indeed.
And we know it's a miracle just for you to be seated where you are.
Yes.
It is a miracle. Just tell us from the start what happened in your life or what's been happening in your life.
Okay. So I lost to both of my parents before I turned 2. So I
Sorry, you lost your father and mother
Yes.
before the age of 2.
Yes.
So you have no
I don't-
memory or
yeah.
recollection of them.
No. Yes. No a single moment that I can remember having a father and a mother.
Wow.
Yes. So this made me, I ended up staying with a number of families. I stayed with about 8 different families, moving from one family to the other.
So it was like a migratory life.
Yes, yes,
This family takes you, they look after you,
yes,
and then when maybe things become tough for them, they
Yes.
hand you over to someone else.
yes.
So
yes.
8 families.
8 families, learning different rules, getting used to different faces every time. And I lived with a lot of anxiety as to where will I go next. If I make a mistake and they say, we can't stay with you any longer, then where will I go? So it was not easy.
It was not easy. How many schools did you attend? Because I understand because you are moving from family to family, you have to transfer schools.
Yes.
Or sometimes school is temporarily stopped.
Yes. I attended to 4 different primary schools. And
So primary schools, you have to attend 4 of them.
Yes, and 3 different high schools.
Wow.
And sometimes I would transfer before the end of the year
Wow.
because of financial difficulties.
Wow.
Yes,
So it was always a challenge for you to have stability,
yes,
of having the setup of a family with you,
yes,
and also finding adequate financing for your education,
yes,
such that you actually had to have 4 primary schools that you had to actually go to. And what was the kind of feeling, especially being in a society where there are people with families, but you are now found being displaced on a daily basis? What kind of feeling did you have?
it was not easy, and it was always a wish because it's better. I would say it's better losing the parents after you have at least a 2-day memory with them, but you have no memory at all about your parents. It's not it's not easy. Yeah.
But now going forward, doctor, looking at such a thing, most of the time when people look, they feel that it's a right to have parents, but it's actually a privilege. Also,
Indeed.
looking at him,
Indeed.
you can actually see that to him, the biggest thought that is in his mind is, how do they look like? How did they converse together? How did they love each other? And you can actually see how much it destroys even his upstanding.
Indeed. And even the question, why? Why did God take my parents at such a young age?
Yes.
You know, it's a question that can linger in somebody's mind for a long time. So, healing from that, it's not easy. And you understand him having to move from family to family, like you were saying, trying to get used to the conditions. The moment you are now just starting to gel, you are moved from that family. You go to the next. And 8 families, it's not a small number. It's a very big number. So, but we know and we understand that God gave you a gift. Our Father has been teaching about gifts. And he said on Thursday, every gift that you have, it's a spiritual gift. It doesn't matter, it's physical. It's a spiritual gift. God gave you a gift, and academically you were brilliant. We saw your certificate. Maybe we can, Media team, if you can help us to cast. We saw your O-level certificate.
Yes.
Which school were you going to for O-level?
Suvera High School.
So that was the third secondary school that you had to attend.
That was the second.
That
the
was the
first one
second.
was in Shavane High School.
Okay.
Then that was Form 1, and then Form 2, I then went to Suvera High School.
Then went to Silvera High School.
Yes.
Okay. So, media team, if you are ready, you can show us his O-level certificate. And you can just marvel at the brains that God gave to this young man. You see that certificate over there. Maybe you can try and enlarge it. Okay. So you see A, B, A. Those are 11 subjects. 10 of them are A's. And a B in Shona.
And a B in English.
How come? Oh, okay.
Another certificate.
You see, when I look at those kind of results myself, I actually admire him very well, because I only had one A and the rest was a mystery, doctor.
You can't even talk about the rest.
I don't want to talk about it.
Wow. So imagine with those brilliant results, you are not even sure that you are going for A-level.
Not even sure.
Eventually
Yes.
by the grace, you went for A-level.
Yes.
How was A-level like?
A-level was not easy, because I started my A-level, Form 5 at Suvera High School. Then when I was in second term, the one who was supporting me getting some financial difficulties. So I had to transfer from Suvera, second term, Form 5, to another school, to Gutu High School. And that was
It's a boarding school.
It's a boarding school, but I was a day scholar.
Or you were not in boarding, you were staying somewhere.
I was staying somewhere.
And going to school every day.
Yes, that at least it was affordable for the next caregiver.
For the next caregiver.
Yes.
Okay, because it was just tuition,
Yes.
no boarding fees.
Yes.
You know, I had the privilege of sharing, or of seeing your results in Form 5, Form 6, lower 6, upper 6. If you allow me to share them.
Yes, of course.
All right, so media team, if you are ready, you can show us the Form 5 result. This is now you at Gutu High.
Yes.
You were saying you are now a day scholar.
Yes.
Oh, you've always been a day scholar. Okay. So maths, you have 23%.
Yes.
And there's an F there. Put extra effort. Chemistry, you have an E. Work hard. Maths, biology, you have an A. So that's how many points?
That's 6 points.
That's 6 points. Okay. And then this is Form
5,
Okay, let's have the next one.
Form 6,
This
first
is
term.
Form 6 first term now.
Yes.
Maths, what's happening to our good doctor? You get 20% in maths.
Yes.
Put extra effort. You had an A at O level. What were the circumstances like? What was it that was making you to struggle to get excellent results?
It was hard, firstly, getting used to the new school, to the new family. So it was really hard. And I left everything at Suvera High School. And just say you can't even take your books from Suvera High School because there is a debt there. So you just moved to a new school.
Oh, there was debt at your previous school?
Yes.
Wow.
So just left everything, my books, my notes. We can't clear this
Oh,
debt.
you had started A-level there.
Yes.
So you left everything and then you moved to a
Yes.
new school.
Yes.
Wow. So you can understand
Yeah.
those results. You can show us the other report. So this one is 6 points again.
Yes.
Okay. You can show us the other report. This is, this is first term of
This
of upper six.
second term of
This
upper
is
six.
second term now. So in maths, you have improved a little bit. You are now at 25%. But still, it's a fail. Chemistry, you have a D, okay? And the comment is work harder. Biology, you have a C, aim higher. And the comment by the head there says, exams are around the corner. Improve.
Oh, you just said, at least he's a well-behaved student.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a comment there, a well-behaved student. So that's in your favor. But you know that this is your last term towards the exams.
Yes.
And a family is looking after you. You know that when you write your A-levels and you fail, that's it. You have one bullet. You have a gun with one bullet, and you really have to make it.
Yes.
You know, when you go to school and you repeat over and do you know it's a privilege? Because some people don't have that privilege. Because already you're staying with a family, and who knows, maybe you might be like a burden, and they're just waiting for you to finish school and move away. But then you fail, and you're stuck with them. So how did you prepare your exams? Now we are going towards the finals of the A-level.
Okay, so during the August holiday, they said to myself, I have to work extra hard now. So the school would allow those that are already in boarding school to stay at school during the holidays studying, but I was not in boarding school.
So you were not in boarding school, you were
Yes.
not allowed to stay
Yes.
during the holiday
Yes.
classes.
Yes. So I then approached the warden and explained my story to him and said, please, if you may just give me a room at the hostels, I won't go to the dining. I just need a room.
So just a room, you won't be going to eat with other students.
Yes. So he provided a room for me. And at that moment, I had only about $25 so I had to budget out to use that $25 for the month I would be staying at school studying. So I bought mazoe, maputi, and a small packet of biscuits. And I was left something about $18. So I had to plan now either to eat, to buy sadza in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. In between, I can take mazoe and maputi, then just study. Yeah.
You can actually imagine that kind of a lifestyle, doctor.
So it's $1 a day. A holiday is about 30 days, so $1 per day.
It's even actually less than that because it was $18 now.
It's not easy. So you then set for your A-level exams.
Yes.
You can show us the results from A-level. So that's your A-level certificate over there. Maybe you can increase okay. So look, maths, your previous result was at 25%. Now you have an A. Your chemistry, you had 49%. You now have an A. Your biology, you had 52%. You now have an A. This is 15 points.
Yes.
I can actually see your twin brother here because your results were almost the same.
No, I
doctor.
didn't have 15 points. I wasn't this good. This guy is brilliant.
You can't take away that from him because you are looking at the environment that the man was in, and all that he had was $18, and that's what he all had to put everything into.
And you are learning with people who are having breakfast at the dining hall at 6 or 7, at 10, at lunch, in the evening. 4 meals. He's having 1 meal per day.
I want to ask him, what was actually going through your mind in that time, in that struggle that you were having? What was going through your mind?
I was just hoping for the best, saying I have to change this life. Lord, give me faith. I can do it. So I just cling to faith.
And this is against all odds.
Yes.
Everything is against you. But you're able to work hard and you get there.
Yes.
Now you have your 15 points. What was the way forward?
With 15 points and continued financial difficulties, the future was blank. So I went to the rural areas where I was heading cattle.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You had 15 points, you
Yes.
went to Kumusha,
Yes.
you started heading cattle.
Yes.
Kufudza mombe wine 15 points.
Yes.
Wow, mombe dzakaropafadzwa izvozvo.
So that's the picture of you
So
heading cattle.
that's you with a, I don't know what that is called in
a whip.
English. It's a whip.
Chkawa, yeah.
Chamboko.
Ichaboko.
Chkawa. Okay, so that's you there.
That's me after having 15
With
points.
your cattle, which are in the background there. And did you see any future beyond just heading cattle?
No, there was no future because nobody was able to provide for my university fee. So the dream of going to university was non-existent, and even the registration fee to register for a place at university, I didn't have the funds to register for university.
So you can imagine you are Kumusha. You know, these days it's now better. But there, there is no news. You can't even know when they open the applications, what's going on in town. How were you coping? How were you even like trying to plan, even if you didn't have the resources? How were you even just trying to do the basic minimum of planning for your future?
It was difficult to plan, and I tried other means, but at that moment, I just wait for a miracle. I just pray, Lord, I need a miracle. That's all.
And then that's when the miracle happened.
Yes.
Somebody took you to church
Yes.
in Mashingo.
Yes.
You can tell us the story.
Okay, so when I was Kumusha, the only valuable thing that I have was a calculator that I used at A level. So I had to sell that calculator.
So that was the only possession that
That-
you had,
yes.
the calculator.
Yes.
Okay.
So I sold it and I got something like $20, and I went to Mashingo, to my friend's place, and
your?
to my friend's place.
So you so you sold it, you got
Yeah.
$20.
Yes.
You went to your friend's place.
Yes. This was during the time Ponengo Siripadzoro Remombe.
Sorry?
This was the time when it is not your duty to take care of the cattle. 1 week in, 1
okay,
week out.
okay.
Yes.
Anonzi majana, doctor.
So, I know. Okay. So it was not your turn to have the cattle.
Yes.
And then you went
To Mashingo. Yes. Then I attended church, and
Which church was this?
I go to United Family International Church.
UFIC Mashingo
UFIC
branch.
Mashingo branch.
Okay.
Then I heard of all the good work that Mama is doing through the Agape Family Care or the outreach. And suddenly my hope was restored. And I say, I think this is the miracle I was waiting for.
Wow. Wow. So you then had to have your applications and everything.
Yes.
What happened? How did the process go?
The process going so well. There was no any difficulties. And I think Mama, because in the Agape team, they say, if you provide tuition fee for you, where will you stay? What will you eat?
So what you had applied for was just for tuition,
For tuition.
school fees.
Yes, for school fees.
But you didn't have anywhere to stay,
Anywhere to stay, yeah.
no food.
No food.
Or you were now used to your Maputi and Mazoe.
Yes.
So they decided to go an extra mile.
Yes.
What else did they do for you?
They say we are now providing for your tuition fee and the accommodation fee.
Wow.
Yes.
And by accommodation fee, I understand it includes
It goes the meals
the meals.
and where to stay, everything. Yes.
So you now had no headaches,
Peace.
nothing.
Peace of mind. I studied peace of mind, nothing to worry about.
So I'm thinking, I think that's the...
That's your
scholarship.
certificate from Agape, the scholarship award certificate.
Yes.
You know, from someone without a privilege, failing to even have a proper meal at school, but just being in the presence of our mother's arm, which is Agape Family Care. You are given a home to sleep in. You're given a bed to sleep in. You're given food to eat. And you're given, above all, the dream that you had,
Yes.
which was to go to school and to study your favorite area, which is medicine.
Yes.
Wow, this is amazing, people of God.
It's amazing.
Because
Doctor, just to hold you, Madam. Doctor, you were telling us that there was a guy who used to head this kettle. But because you were now there with your 15 points, he lost his job.
Yes.
So their hope was now, we are
Yeah.
now there for good.
Yes. If it was not because of Mama, I would be a senior head boy by now.
Wow.
With 15 points.
you know, it's astounding that you can have an overly qualified head boy with 15 points who's heading your kettle.
Yes. Yes.
You know what's touching me, Doctor, is you actually look at the history of his life. For example, the man never really had parents to look at. He grew up in different setups, meeting different people, sending him to school. Some would struggle, some would meet different challenges. But the moment that he meets the prophetess of God, it's like he's meeting a mother again in his life.
Yes.
A mother who comes to fill in the gap and say, all the other thing that you have missed in your life, let me come and do it as a
Exactly.
mother for you.
Yes.
And I would like to ask a question. Did it now feel like you're less privileged when you're now in the hands of the mother?
No. Actually, I'm most privileged now. Yes. I'm very privileged now. Because
That's a picture of you there. That's the health sciences building at the medical school. Wow. And you can see, if you compare his early pictures and this one, you can see a big change. This is a doctor who is being groomed, well looking, and is ready to take on his studies. Look at that boy who is heading cattle, and you compare with the other guy now who is now at the medical school. All meals are being paid for, accommodation is paid for, you have no headaches, you are not worried about tomorrow.
yes.
What am I going to eat? What am I going to dress? Where am I going to sleep? Those worries have been taken away.
Yes.
Doctor, you noticed something that I was actually thinking to myself a few days ago. That when our father was explaining to us the testimony of their life with Mama Prophetess Ruth Makandiwa, when our father said we were sitting on Kelvin Corner and my wife was telling me the vision that she has of how much she wanted to touch people's lives and how much she wanted to help people's lives. And you notice that even way back before they even started UFIC, they'd already seen this young man in their vision.
Exactly. And
They-
many others.
And they had actually seen different kind of problems that people were seeing. And you notice how much God entrusted that vision to capable people. That's when you start realizing that there are relationships, there are unions that were God ordained, that were made from heaven. Even before the realms of the earth were made, God had already produced a solution to a situation. I'm thinking, it's just Kelvin Corner. They are sitting, they are discussing their life. Because if it's me discussing life with my wife, we are talking about how many houses we need to build. But in their mind, they are not thinking
Imagine.
about themselves.
They're thinking about
They're
other
thinking
people.
about other people.
Yes.
And you start noticing that there are people that don't just live their lives for themselves.
No.
But morely, they live their lives for other people.
Exactly.
And that's why you see that, you actually notice the heart of our mother, that you'd see her sit down with Anagogo on a birthday and share love to those people. You'd see her sit with orphans, share love with those people. She could have just be anyway, because she can be anyway. But being with the less privileged, you see where a heart of a man is by the direction at which his or her treasure is going.
Indeed.
All the treasure that our mother has, you see where it goes. It goes back to the people. It goes back to his children, all of us that are here. It just doesn't come in form of monetary value or just spiritual value. It comes out wholly from a lifestyle value. That her life, she's an example. She always keeps herself for you and me. Even anything that she goes through, she's not going through because of herself. She's going through because of you and me. And such a mother, people of God, a mother that can sacrifice such things, what more can you say to God? And how much more can you celebrate such a mother of high significance and value? Look at him. Look at him. All he now knew in his life is like, okay, now I have 15 points. So what's next? And what was next to him was heading 4 or 5 kettles. Someone with such an ability. Imagine he is a doctor. He's going to walk into a surgery. You're going to see how many people he's going to attend to. Just one man. So you are going to talk about our mother healing people, us seeing her healing people by laying hands on people. But she also has got another form of healing that she's performing.
Exactly. Brilliant. Yeah.
Through the doctors that she has sent.
Yes.
She can reach out to more than 10,000 people maybe in a year. She can reach out to as many people in a lifetime through his life.
Indeed.
So you see the value of her vision, the value of who she is. You see with the works and the people that she has empowered. Lawyers have been empowered. Families have been empowered. Engineers have been empowered. There's so many businesswomen, they're actually coming out through the hands of our mother. What more can we say about such a mother, Doctor?
It's amazing, man of God. We've got a mother. That's all I can say.
Yes, we do.
That way, we've got a mother, a real mother, who takes care of all aspects of our lives. And, I don't know how much, if you are being asked to pray for her, I don't know how much we are supposed to pray and thank God for the mother that he has given us. Because we really have a mother. We can't ask for anything more. Coming back to you, Doc. You are now in medical school. You now have stability. Did you at any point have a supplementary, a sup, or a repeat? Did those maths marks come back again?
No, they never came back again. I completed my school, thought a supplementary exam, thought a respect.
So you never repeated a subject?
No.
You would never had to supplement for anything
No,
at all?
not
You
at all.
just sailed through?
Yes.
So our mother literally gave you wings when the odds were stacked against you,
Yes.
and you started flying. And ever since, you are still flying.
Indeed.
Wow. We've got your picture in your graduation attire. But that's you there. This is Mufudzi Wemombe. This is the head boy who is now looking like this.
Indeed.
People of God, the mother that we have been given by God is out of this world. It's amazing. It's amazing. So where are you working now?
I'm now working at Gweru Provincial Hospital.
Yeah, in Gweru.
Yes,
Wow. Gweru is blessed to have a doctor like you.
indeed.
And okay. So you're doing your internship, housemanship.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe some people might think, oh, these are not true or real things. You shared with us your registration certificates.
Yes.
Maybe you can show us, media team, that you are now on the register of doctors.
Yes.
From the register of head boys. You are now on the Dr. Albert. I can't see very clearly from me.
Albert Tanaka Chisema.
Tanaka Chisema. Thank you, media team. So you can see he's now in internship, and you see that title there. It's no longer just Albert. It's now doctor.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow.
You know, it's so touching that before in your A level you were struggling, even with keeping up with your grades. But when the prophetess of God came into your life, you didn't even find a struggle.
It's a miracle.
Everything that you are now doing was top notch and top spec. Until this day that we're now seeing your certificate that you're now a qualified doctor.
Yes. So it was more than just a scholarship to me. It was a blessing as well. To say a scholarship plus a blessing to excel.
Wow. And finally, where do you see yourself in future? Maybe 10 years, 15 years?
Okay, so academically, I wish to be a surgeon. And then I wish then to have a family, have a house, to put to an end this life of being a nomad. In Shona, they say, "Kugarazaka sungwa," you move from one family to other. I wish to have a house, I wish to have a family, and to be a surgeon.
Wow. I love that. To be a surgeon, welcome to the club.
Thank you.
To have a family, welcome to the club.
Welcome to our club.
Wow.
Doctor, I'm being touched by even the last words that you were saying, that all I want to do now is to become a surgeon. But deeply, something that he said to me, he said, even before we came in here, he said it again. He said, I've never really understood what a family is like, because I never really had a stable family. But because our mother has given me this qualification, I'm now going to be able to be a stable father that will send my children to school. Because I was asking him if he's single, and he said, all I'm just thinking about right now is getting married and having children.
So, Pastor Simba, there is a youth member who wants to get married.
And looking at it, it might just look like something that is general to most people who just move from families and they get families. But for him, it's something that he has always wanted. And our mother has made that possible, to fulfill that dream, which he never thought in his life you were able to do, to be a good father who is able to take care of his own children.
I can hear some girls whispering in there. Anyway, people of God, there you are. This is our testimony for today, September, to remember what the hands of our mother can do. We now have a doctor through the hands of our mother. Chiremba, congratulations. Thank you for carrying this grace. Thank you for even excelling when our mother gave you wings. People of God, we can continue applauding what our mother has done and continues to do.